Hey guys, what's up? My name is Florian, this is Waschhaus TV, and today I'm going to show you the magic behind iCloud. So welcome to this week's episode of Waschhaus TV. Today I'm going to show you the magic behind iCloud. I'm an app developer and I use iCloud in my apps, and I just want to give you some details, some technical insights, what iCloud is, what it does, how it works. And what is iCloud? iCloud was launched in October 2011. It came with iOS 5 and OS X Lion, and basically it's a backup and syncing service for the Apple platforms. You can sync your emails, your contacts, calendars. It has apps like Find My Friends, Find My iPhone. With iOS 7 and Mavericks, they released iCloud Keychain, which lets you share your passwords between different devices. And it also has iTunes Match, where you can where you can sync your iTunes library to also different devices. And they have iWork. iWork is also available on iCloud.com. You can access your documents, your Pages documents, for example, or your Keynote presentations. And it has the photo stream built in. The photo stream is an application that allows you to take a picture on your iPhone, and it then gets reflected to your iPad and to your Mac. And it's also available for Windows, so there is a Windows client where you can also access your contacts and your calendar information. And it's also available as a syncing service for third-party app developer. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the different functions that app developers can use with iCloud, and how iCloud actually works. So basically there are three types of synchronization and storage available with iCloud. And the first one is a document sync, then there is a database sync, and last but not least there's a key value storage. That key value storage is very restricted. It has only 1 megabyte available per app and per user. And what it's really good for is for user defaults, preferences, stuff like that, like game scores. And it's restricted to certain data types, so you can only store short texts in it, and numbers and dates and collections of those. And so if you want to sync more sophisticated documents, you have to use the document sync. With that kind of sync, you can sync all kinds of documents. So for example, you can sync plain text files, but you can also sync spreadsheets or documents with more complex layout, like the Pages document. And the way this works is that a document is split up into metadata and the actual data of that document. And the metadata is always synced first, so it is synced first up to iCloud servers. And when you open up an app, for example on an iPhone, you can very quickly see a list of all available documents in iCloud, because the metadata is then pulled from iCloud servers first. And what metadata is well, basically it's the name of a document, the size of it, the modification date, the file type. And then you can see that list, and the moment that you open a document on your device, it's then downloaded from iCloud servers. And this has two big advantages. First, it doesn't take so much space on your iPhone, so you may have a limited space available on your iPhone. And when you're only automatically downloading the metadata, you don't have to pull down the data, which may contain images or videos from a Pages document, for example. And the second advantage is that changes are synced incrementally, which means that when you change, for example, a paragraph in a Pages document, only that chunks of bits that are actually changed are reflected to iCloud and then pulled down from iCloud. And this saves you time, and it also saves you bandwidth on your iPhone. So the way syncing works is by using a local folder that is reflected to iCloud. This folder is named Mobile Documents, and it's located in your user's library. You can access this from the Mac, obviously not from the iPhone, but there's no much magic to it. It's just a plain folder containing all the documents that are available in iCloud. And there is a system process running all the time in the background. It's named Ubiquity Daemon, or short UBD. And this process, it has no user interface. It's really just running in the background. And all it does is observing changes in that mobile documents folder. And whenever a file changes or a new document is stored in that mobile documents folder, it is reflected to iCloud servers. And this daemon, this Ubiquity daemon, is also responsible for pulling down changes from iCloud. And what's also really important is that the Ubiquity daemon keeps versions of documents. So for example, imagine a scenario where you are on a plane with an iPad and you change some documents and save them right away, but you don't have access to the network, to iCloud. So later you may change the same document on a Mac, and now you have two versions, version A from the iPad and version B from the Mac. And the iPad comes on the internet later, and it syncs up the changes to iCloud, and then you have those two versions conflicting. And that Ubiquity daemon it keeps versions of that document, and an app developer is able to provide a user interface asking the user which version he wants to keep. So the last type of synchronization available in iCloud is for databases, also known as core data. And this kind of synchronization is good for shoebox style applications. Think of something like iPhoto. So you have a whole list, a whole collection of photos, and you may have them arranged in albums or tagged with geolocations and all that kind of information. This would be normally stored in a database. A database is good for huge data sets, and as the name implies, huge data sets, a database can be very huge. And so it has to have a different kind of synchronization than a normal document. And the way core data syncs databases via iCloud is it uses transaction logs to actually just send up changes to iCloud. Those transaction logs are small text files which tells iCloud what did change. So, for example, imagine a database where you have photos and photographers, and the photos are related to a photographer, to the photographer that took them. And when you create a new photographer, there's just a small text file created which contains information about that photographer. So for example, the name or its camera he uses all the time, something like that. And this is stored in that mobile documents folder I referred earlier to, and then reflected to iCloud servers. And the other side of the synchronization sees that file and sees what changed, and then applies that change to the database that is stored locally. So this has a big advantage because you can't sync the whole database all the time, because over time a database may be huge, maybe hundreds of megabytes. When you have thousands and thousands of photographers and photos and all kinds of stuff and relationships, it gets quite complex. And this transaction log kind of sync is actually a great idea, but it turns out that core data syncing is really a pain in the ass. Developers are complaining about it since years, actually since it came out in 2011, because database syncing doesn't work. I don't know why Apple does not get this done. They are struggling with it for years, and with iOS 7 and Mavericks there has been made changes to it. So they first storing those transaction logs, for example, locally, and then make sure that there is an iCloud connection and then sync them up to iCloud, because back in the days when one transaction log was missing, so remember that iCloud is just an internet-based service, when one transaction log didn't make it to the cloud, this may have corrupted the whole database, and it's really a pain in the ass. And I hope Apple will get this done, but we will see what the future brings. So that's it for today. This was this week's episode of Waschhaus TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please share this video with friends and colleagues and leave a thumbs up down below. And yeah, see you next week. So maybe the one is writing, the other one is writing, and it goes down, and it's over, and catastrophe, you know?